Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is a historic night in WWE. For SmackDown Live, this is the final stop on the road to WrestleMania. It is 2 miles of chain, 10 tons of steel, and in the sadistic mind of Eric Bischoff was created in 2002 at the Survivor Series in Madison Square Garden in New York City. And now, 15 years later, it got an upgrade, a new look, but it's still as dangerous and lethal than ever before. It is known as the Devil's Playground. It's known as the Elimination Chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, 6 brave men entered that chamber for one reason and one reason only: to become the WWE Heavyweight Champion of the World and to punch their ticket to WrestleMania 33. By the end of the night, we will find out who is going to fight Randy Orton in that main event at the Citrus Bowl or Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida in about 2 months' time. What's going on, people? It's Michael Fletcher. What is going on? Welcome to this very special event tonight. Um, it doesn't get any bigger than this. It doesn't get better than this. It's the Elimination Chamber, and it is on. It's electric. It is amazing. Well, before we get to that, we got a lot to talk about first. Now, per decree, unfortunately, I had to work, so I missed practically all the fights. But fortunately for you all, I was able to get in just in time for the Elimination Chamber match. So you'll get my thoughts on that. If Michael Bullock should arrive, then we'll run a 3-person weave. But for now, the people who were hosting and worked last night's preview show, and special thank you to Anthony Florio and Dee Dee Woodson for doing that for me, will be running a 2-person runner for a little bit before I can jump in. So what we had was a pre-show fight. You know, on my show, I never cover it, so the hey with it. It was Mojo Rawley versus Kurt Hawkins. Mojo wins the match at 8 minutes and 5 seconds. But let's get into the main card. It started out with, okay, thank God I missed this fight because this probably would have been torture for me. Mickie James going one-on-one with Becky Lynch. Anthony knows how I feel about both ladies. Dee Dee kind of knows now how I feel about both women. This would have been agonizing for me to watch. The winner of the bout is the last kicker, the fiery redhead from Dublin, Ireland, Becky Lynch. She defeats Mickie James. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, MF. Good to have you back here where you belong. But anyways, yes, hello, friends. It is Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio here. I also want to be known as another name, not just Ridiculously Over, but I also want to be known as Gentleman Anthony Florio because I'm liking the Jack Gallagher character, and it's rubbing off on me. So, Gentleman Anthony Florio it is. So, anyways, yeah, I'll tell it like it is. 11 minutes and 40 seconds. That's the time I have on my liner notes here. As much as I was looking forward to this match, I felt a little underwhelmed, if I'm going to be honest with you. Not as exciting as you thought it would be, MF. I'm sorry to say. I will give it 2 stars for the effort. It was a decent match that never won over the crowd. They cheered for Becky Lynch, but Mickie James just didn't seem to get much of a response as the heel. Perhaps that's because this bout played third banana to the other two women's matches during the build-ups. So fine match, okay match, but the crowd just wasn't really into it. And I honestly was hoping for a little more considering who was involved, but they did the best with the time they were given. So that's all I can say there. So I can only give it 2. That's the best I can go. So, I guess we lost Dee Dee Woodson for the moment. I think she was having audio issues on her end. So, yeah. But I can attest to what MF was saying. I mean, I've known MF for almost. Okay. We got Dee Dee Woodson back. So yeah. 2 stars for me. So with that being said, Dee Dee Woodson, we're putting you to work tonight. 3 women's matches on this show, and it's a chance for you to do what you do best as our women's efficiency experts. So, how did Mickie James and Becky Lynch look to you? I thought it was only a 2-star effort for me. Dee Dee, are you there?
I think she still might be having issues. Yeah, she's saying she has no sound. She can't even hear us. All right. All right, Dee Dee, I'm sorry to hear that. I guess it's just gonna be Anthony. You're gonna have to just hopefully Dee Dee will get her technical difficulties straightened out soon enough. Um, and if we can,
I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I can't hear you at all.
oh, I could hear you now.
I can hear you.
I have no sound.
No, I can hear you.
Yeah.
And I can hear you.
Yeah, I think she's just having an issue. I don't know if it's just a backing or some kind of issue. Yeah, she can't hear us. We can hear her, but we can't. But she can't hear us. That's the down. That's a bad combination. Well, all right. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here.
All right.
I don't even know what we're on because since I can't hear you.
Yeah. All right.
The first match.
Okay, I gave it 2 stars. I thought it was a pretty good match.
All right.
But since I can't really hear you all, then
yeah,
I'm not going to say too much until I can try to figure out my sound issue.
All right.
So go ahead.
All right. Very well. Very well. So, Anthony, I guess what we're going to do is we're going to have her, while she's fixing whatever she needs to fix, I guess it's just going to be you and I for the time being. I hate to do it, but I mean, it sucks, but these are just an unforeseen situation. Normally, when we have live events or live anything, sometimes these technical glitches does appear. So we'll go into the next fight. It was a 2-on-1 handicap match. Kalisto and Apollo Crews against Dolph Ziggler. The winner of the bout was Kalisto and Apollo Crews. So, Anthony, why don't you go ahead and give us your thoughts about that match?
Yeah. Like I said on the preview last night, this was the worst fight of the night for me. I can only give it like 1.5 for the effort. I mean, seriously, could Kalisto and Apollo Crews look any worse? You can't blame the fans a bit for siding with the heel who was working against 2 babyfaces in a handicap match and then beat up both men afterward. This looked really odd on paper, and I'm still not sure what they were hoping for from a creative standpoint. I was not excited about this bout going in, and after that garbage they put on tonight, yeah, my point was proven right. So I'm being very generous with this rating. I mean, I could honestly give this no rating to a dud, honestly, because that's how bad this was for me. So yeah. Honestly, I rather would have had the Mojo Rawley Kurt Hawkins fight on this main card instead of this fight. I would have rather have had that on the pre-show more than anything else. Because honestly, the Raleigh Hawkins fight was actually more entertaining than this fight was. That fight was actually halfway decent. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh wow.
So yeah. So yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but from what I saw, it was actually, that I thought that Raleigh Hawkins fight was actually about 2.25 to 2.5 stars. I mean, that was actually a sleeper match for me. But other than that, but this, no, sorry. So the action was okay but what happened was Dolph Ziggler attacked Kalisto as Kalisto was making his way down and took him out, and then it was Cruz and Ziggler for a good few minutes, and then Kalisto comes back, and then that allowed for Cruz to pick up the win. So that's really all there. That's really all that happens. So honestly, when it comes to my recommendations for this show tonight, this is one thing I recommend. I strongly recommend you skip because you're not going to lose any sleep over this. Trust me, I won't.
Mm.
So that's all I can say on that. So
all right. Apparently, go ahead, Anthony.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, 1 to 1.5 stars. So Didi Woodson, I guess we can hear you. I guess you can hear us now. So all right, good. We're ready to go. So Didi Woodson, your thoughts on this garbage handicap match, which had no business being on the card whatsoever?
Yeah, this match really wasn't worth anything at all. It, you know, I'm only going to give it about a star. I mean, it was basically a squash match, and didn't really deserve. I don't think it even deserved to be a part of the pay-per-view. And as far as what happened, I don't know why I couldn't hear you all, but finally the sound came back, so I'm here now. So it's all good.
All right. Very good, very good. And we're going to move right into the next fight of the night, which was the tag team turmoil for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Now, in this matchup, it basically goes like this. Two teams start it. Whenever a team gets eliminated, another team enters. Basically, once every team has competed, basically the last team standing is declared the winner and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So let's break it down like this. It started out with Heath Slater and Rhino and Breezango. At that point, Heath Slater and Rhino eliminated Breezango, so Heath Slater and Rhino got to fight the Vaudevillains next. The Vaudevillains and Heath Slater and Rhino won that fall. They move on, and they had to fight the Usos. Usos versus Heath Slater and Rhino eliminates Heath Slater and Rhino. So now the next team that came out was American Alpha. Usos versus the Alphas. The Alphas knocks out the Usos. Only one team was remaining. Alphas versus the Ascension for the Tag Team Championship, the winner of the bout, and still the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Jason Jordan, Chad Gable. They were ready, willing, and Gable. American Alpha successfully defends the titles here tonight. I believe it goes to Didi Woodson. So, Didi, what says about you about the tag team turmoil? What did you feel about this match?
Hey, I thought it was a pretty good match. I really kind of enjoyed it. You know, congratulations to American Alpha for retaining the titles. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. You know, a lot more entertaining than the last match with Ziggler and Cruz and Kalisto. So, I really enjoyed this match really well, and not much more I can say about it other than, congratulations to them. They actually made it through, well, I guess it was like 2 matches they made it through, so that's not bad. So, congratulations to them.
Yes, I'll take it from here. I'm right there with you on the rating, Didi. I absolutely agree. 3.5 stars is my rating as well. Third best fight of the night. The match was great, and it ate up plenty of time. And the match was laid out very nicely in terms of the Usos doing the damage to make the Ascension feel like threats to win the tag team titles. However, one win on SmackDown Live was not enough to make anyone view the Ascension differently. And my only little gripe here is it would have been much more effective if the roles were reversed and the Usos had been the final team. But that also would have made the Usos look weak and that they would have failed to put away an injured American Alpha. In other words, they can make the Ascension look weak in this case because they probably don't have any plans for them whatsoever. Whereas the Usos are the team that leaves with a small level of heat. So what's next? Hopefully we finally get that tag team, that big money tag title feud with the Alphas and the Usos. I mean, that's the big money feud in the SmackDown tag team division as far as I'm concerned. But as I said on the preview show last night with Bullock, there's another team that I feel is on the horizon. I think SmackDown Live is going to get a new tag team called up to the main roster, maybe shortly after WrestleMania. And when I say these two names, you'll know who I'm talking about. Two men who the American Alpha had a rivalry for the ages with in NXT. I think you've heard of these gentlemen. Dash Wilder, Scott Dawson, anyone? Hello?
Oh, my word. You're talking about the Revival?
I'm talking about the Revival. They're going to be on SmackDown.
Oh, my goodness.
I predict it right here and now. Put me on the record for this.
Okay.
After WrestleMania, sometime after WrestleMania, you heard it here first. I strongly feel, I think the Alphas are going to ultimately go over the Usos. I think they got plans for them to have a straight-up tag bout at WrestleMania. I think the Alphas will retain, and then after WrestleMania is over, you know those call-ups are coming. And when they come up, Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder, the Revival, they're coming up. And guess what? Alpha Revival Round 2. Hell yeah. Sign me up. MF, how do you follow that when you move on?
Well, actually, I want to give you a little heads up. There's a rumor going around that they actually might do the WWE draft sooner than expected. There was one rumor going around that they might do the draft the night after WrestleMania. Now, nothing's confirmed, denied. Right now, WWE has implemented that they're thinking about doing a WWE draft either in April or May. This is going to be a lot more sooner than last year's because I think last year's was in June, July, something like that. So if they're talking about a May or an April or May draft, that means it's very possible that we could see the Revival, Nakamura. There's some other names. Plus, remember, some other main talent is supposed to get traded away. Some going to Raw, some going to SmackDown. Now, I'm not going to start jumping on that until we get to draft night or we get closer to the draft. But let me tell you, I've heard some big names being flipped to one show or another. But we'll wait and see there. All right, so let's move on to the next fight of the night, which was, I apologize, Nikki Bella going one-on-one with Natalya. This was the fight we've been waiting for. These two little ladies have been brawling. This has been a brawl that started at the Survivor Series and has gone on ever since, and it's gotten really nuclear, and it needed to be settled one way or another. Unfortunately, guys, nothing got settled. These two Hellcats threw down and accidentally got counted out. It was a double count out. The fight's been thrown out. 13 minutes and 40 seconds, the bout went, and let me tell you, man, nothing gets solved on this one. They're gonna have to, this gets prolonged a little more deeper. Until then, Anthony Florio, you lead off on this. Give me your thoughts.
2.5 stars. One of the better Nikki matches I've seen in a while, honestly. And yeah, nothing got settled, and we usually frown upon double count-out finishes, but this was a strong effort from both women. You could tell they were out to make it memorable. And while I don't think they necessarily succeeded in doing so, you have to appreciate the hard work. I'm for this one time, it's rare that I'm okay with cheap finishes, but I'm actually fine with the cheap finish here. SmackDown Live has a lot of television time to fill before WrestleMania. So while it's possible this feud goes to Mania, even though I don't think it will because of all the rumored dirt sheets that have been going around, it's also possible they plan to continue it on television over the next few weeks before going to whatever the WrestleMania plan is for Nikki Bella. And, well, let's just say it didn't end there. Because later in the show, Nikki Bella was being interviewed backstage by Renee Young, and then Natalya jumps her. They brawl again, and also within the vicinity, I couldn't help but notice the beautiful wife of the Miz, Maryse, getting her makeup done by the makeup lady. Nikki and Natalya were brawling so hard. Nikki, I think, Natalya inadvertently shoved Nikki, and when Nikki, the momentum of Nikki Bella caromed into this giant batch of like white powder makeup or whatever that is, and it got all over Maryse. And I think, and I saw Maryse pitching a fit, and you know what that means. You know what the rumor is. We've heard the rumor. We know what the rumor match is for WrestleMania.
Yep.
Nikki Bella and John Cena in a mixed tag team match against Maryse and The Miz at Mania. Is it just me, or did we see the first firing shot tonight? But wait, I think there may have been another firing shot with the men. I'll explain that in a short. But I think we just saw the first firing shot. I think they're going to kill the Nikki Natty feud on SmackDown Live, and then it's going to set up the mixed tag for Mania. Simple as that. But for tonight, 2.5 stars. There's nothing to say on that. Strong effort from both women. Thoroughly impressed, even though the build was, a little catty and annoying for me. But other than that, this match delivered. I would have liked to have seen more, but other than that, for what they were given, good enough for me. Dee Woodson, what says you?
I agree with the rating, 2.5 stars. I'm not real crazy about the double count out. Never have been crazy about those little cop finishes. I think we should have had a clear-cut winner tonight instead of one of these crappy finishes, but oh well. The match was going really great. I probably would have rated it higher if it wasn't for the double count out, but not a whole lot bad to say about it other than that count out. So let's just move on.
All right, and we will indeed move on to the next fight of the night, and it was Luke Harper going one-on-one with the 2017 Royal Rumble winner, Randy Orton. The winner of the bout is Randy Orton. Dee Woodson, I give it to you, my dear.
Okay, I'm having mouse issues. I like this match really well. I thought it went really, really well. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. These two took it to the limits. Took it out to the floor several times. Took out. Tried to take it on announce tables, but of course didn't do it. Hey, Hogan, chill. Other than that, awesome match. Would not, have nothing bad to say about. So far I haven't had a whole lot bad to say about the pay-per-view. So, this is going to be one of those matches that, I would recommend you must see to believe. Because it just went toe to toe. They pretty much wore each other down. So, Florio, it's yours.
Second best fight of the night for me. Oh my goodness, what a match this was. 3 3/4 to 4 stars. hell, I'm going to give it the 4 stars, 3 3/4 at worst. But this was definitely a solid 4-star effort. Second best fight on this show. The crowd went from being apathetic about Harper to start, and by the end, there were plenty of fans cheering for him. JBL on commentary played it up as a breakout moment for Harper. I want to believe him, but JBL always sings the praises of Harper and nothing seems to happen. However, this time I believe it appears to be different because this was such a competitive match. But the key now is how they follow up with Harper. I mean, I said on the preview show with Bullock last night, I said this had the potential to be the sleeper fight of the night. Boy, howdy, was I right. I'm not at all surprised by that. I knew these two were going to deliver. And yeah, the outcome was never in doubt. I mean, you knew Orton was going to win the fight because, hello, he's on the road to WrestleMania. But he made Luke Harper look so good in defeat. And I've been reading a lot of articles lately that Randy Orton has been fully re-energized working with these younger talents, you know, like the Wyatt family. And of course, Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt, and, you know, like we saw in that unforgettable tag team title match on that SmackDown Live, that final SmackDown Live of 2016, which was the greatest SmackDown edition ever. Orton has said he's been re-energized, and we saw that here tonight. I mean, he's having a blast with these younger guys, and you know he did have a reputation of being another one of the one of the barriers. These big name stars who love to bury younger talent and give them no chance whatsoever. But I think those days are gone because tonight he made Luke Harper look like $1 million tonight. I'm going to be real honest with you. That was the best Luke Harper performance I've ever seen. The previous best was the ladder match with Dolph Ziggler at TLC 2014. This performance with Orton tonight topped it. Well done, Luke Harper. Well done, Randy Orton. Fantastic match. If not for another match on this card, I think you know where I'm going with this. If it wasn't for that match, this honestly would have been the fight of the night. But unbelievable. And even though I consider this the second best fight of the night, I was so blown away by how good this was. I'm not even here. So with that being said, 4 stars, second best fight of the night. MF, when you get the chance, sit down and watch this fight, man, because this was awesome. You're going to love it.
All right, and with that said, we're going to move on to the next fight of the night. It was for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Naomi gets her moment, an opportunity that a lot of people thought it should have been coming a long time, but either injuries or just bad luck, and she's never got it. Now she goes up against the Queen Bee herself, the Twisted Bliss, Alexa Bliss, for the title, and Naomi capitalizes on a glorious moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the new SmackDown Women's Champion is indeed Naomi. She wins the title tonight. Dee Woodson. Oh, actually, it goes to Anthony. It goes to Anthony Florio. Yes, yep. Anthony, it's all yours. Yes.
Solid 3 stars. 4th best fight of the night. I am more than thrilled for Naomi. I had said on our show many of times that she was the best female talent yet to win the belt. Well, scratch that, because now she got the belt. Honestly, I had my doubts. I mean, I thought they were going to keep it on Bliss a little longer because I know they're high on Bliss as well. But wow, I mean, what a moment. I mean, a very good match, competitive match. And now I know there are people out there who are not big fans of title changes happening so close to Mania and all that and the whole 9 yards. But I have no problem with this women's championship changing hands whatsoever. You know I love Alexa Bliss. Everybody knows that. But they clearly want to tell the story of Naomi going into WrestleMania in her hometown as the SmackDown Women's Champion. She's been with the company a long time now, and it's nice to see her get a moment. A moment she should have had 3 years ago if it wasn't for a dipsy-do botcheroo by former female talent Oksana, which broke the orbital bone in Naomi's eye, just as they were planning on pushing Naomi to the then Divas Championship a few years ago. But that injury happened, bad break. It was highly doubtful that Naomi was ever going to have a chance at a women's championship. But SmackDown Live, being the land of opportunity as it is, we saw that land of opportunity, and you saw tonight firsthand why SmackDown Live is the land of opportunity. So, congratulations, Naomi. You and just like the crowd said, the crowd did it. They gave her that IWC pop, the IWC's favorite battle cry. You deserve it. And when they did that, she got emotional. She broke down. That's a grateful woman right there. I love grateful women, man. That's how I not only do I love beautiful women, but I love grateful women. That's how I am. Especially with me being the man of good faith that I am. So this is definitely what I would consider a praise God moment. So congratulations, Naomi. You do indeed deserve it. Couldn't happen to a nicer gal. And whatever WWE, whatever you do, let her run with this thing for the next 7 weeks, because 7 weeks from tonight is WrestleMania. Can you imagine what that scene will be like in front of 75,000 plus in the Citrus Bowl in Orlando? Hopefully it'll be nighttime by the time they bring her out for that women's match, or whatever they have planned for her. So we can, because get ready for the most, what I would consider what has the potential to be one of the most epic entrances in WrestleMania history. We've seen a lot of epic entrances in WrestleMania history. This Feel the Glow thing. Can you imagine her sliding down that long ramp with that SmackDown women's belt around her waist, man? Can you picture that? I can. And when we see that in real time in 7 weeks, oh my Lord in heaven, that's going to be a sight to see. 3 stars, 4th best fight of the night, the most deserving women's champion I've seen in a long time. So nothing left for me to say. Edie Woodson, did Alexa and Naomi impress you like they impressed me?
Oh yeah, very much so. I agree. Naomi deserved it. From what I've been hearing, her as Naomi and her as Trinity, which her real name, out of the company, one in the same. You see the sweet, lovable person in the ring. That's the same sweet, lovable person you see out of the ring. And I mean, she definitely deserved this, because she's had such a hard run up to this point to get there. Through the injuries, like Florio mentioned, and just seemed like every time she'd get to that point, the door kind of slammed in her face again. So awesome win, awesome match, definitely 3 stars. One of the better of the 3 women's fights tonight, in my opinion. So not much more to say, so let's move on.
It's time. It don't get no bigger than this. The sadistic structure came down, and 6 brave souls entered. It started off, how apropos, John Cena and AJ Styles. After the first 5-minute interval, Dean Ambrose entered. Then Bray Wyatt. Then Baron Corbin. Then The Miz. Then, with everything that broke down, in this fight, Corbin was the first to go, eliminated by Dean Ambrose. Then Dean Ambrose, after getting destroyed from an end of days, The Miz basically picked up the scraps and had him deposited out of this match. The Miz was eliminated by John Cena after an attitude adjustment and a shocking moment. And we knew this was going to guarantee us a new champion. John Cena was eliminated by Bray Wyatt thanks to his sister Abigail. It was only down to the phenomenal AJ Styles and Bray Wyatt. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Elimination Chamber and the new WWE Heavyweight Champion of the World is the Eater of Worlds. He's got the whole world in his hands. Bray Wyatt is now the new WWE champion. He is going to WrestleMania and he is going to fight Randy Orton as of now, in the main event of WrestleMania. And ladies and gentlemen, you want to know how historic this belt is? You want to know how huge this moment has become? Well, let's say it like this. Bray Wyatt now becomes, in the history of the company, as the 130th WWE champion in the history, and he is now the 50th man to ever hold the belt. That's right. He's now the 50th man to ever have a reign as champion. And in the illustrious history of WWE champions that stems back all the way when it was presented on April 25th, 1963 to Buddy Rogers, he is now the 130th individual or different person to have a reign as a champion, but more importantly, he is now actually, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. He's the 49th person who has held the WWE Championship. Oh my goodness. What is there to say? I get to lead off. I finally got to see this fight. This was an Elimination Chamber to remember, guys. This was an amazing fight, an amazing match, an amazing battle. I love the new chamber. It's more PG proof. I get it. Fine. But the way that they designed it, the Elimination Chamber, looks absolutely phenomenal. It actually reminds me of the Terror Dome. If all you fans remember that one, all you New Japan, AAA fans knows about the Terror Dome because that's like their structure. You know, you have the big roof over the top. TNA had it actually at one time, Anthony, but they called it the Battle Dome. I think it was known as. So
the Asylum, I think, or something, or wasn't it?
Yeah,
kind of asylum.
It was like the Asylum, but this structure looked amazing. I love the look of it. It looks a little more smaller than the original Elimination Chamber, but the dimensions looks a little more different because you got kind of that arc feel with it. You got the photo there, Anthony, especially at the top. There's a major. It looks like the art is more arc on the top of it. But whatever the case may be, this was amazing. And it's even bigger, 24 feet high. I mean, if you remember, I think it was like 20 feet, 18 by diameter, 2 tons of steel. So this was reinforced. This was a new looking chamber. And I'll tell you, if this is what the new chamber is going to look like, thank God, WWE, you really put the budget on this one. This looks amazing, guys. And I can't wait to see this next year. All right. Now, my overall review is this. It started so hot. It was unbelievable. The way that the match started, I cannot say anything bad about it. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was hard. It was red hot. When AJ, Cena, Ambrose, and Corbin went at it, they really brought the fire, the passion. It was great. Now, it did slow up a little bit when White got into the cage. It slowed up a little bit when Miz got into the chamber. But let me tell, excuse me, but it got red hot right towards the end. I thought the match was amazing. I got to give it 5. I think 5 stars is the right call. Now, I don't think it's the fight of the year. I'm going to be very honest with you. It's not a fight of the year. Yes, it's a 5-star, but I'm not calling fight of the year. I thought Okada and and Kenny Omega was better than this fight. I thought John Cena and AJ Styles at Royal Rumble was better than this fight. But this is in my top 3 for fights of the year. And to me, this is the number 3 out of the top. This is a fight of the year candidate. It's just not the fight of the year for me. Unbelievable way to close the show. This was amazing. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, what says you?
Oh man. Yeah. Going again, I'm going to go back to the preview show that I did with Bullock last night. I said that this had the potential to be the greatest Elimination Chamber match of all time. I think we may have saw it. I think they delivered it. Initially, I was going to rate it between 4.25 and 4.5 for the fight of the night. But MF, you convinced me. This is a 5-star classic. This was indeed the fight of the night. I already had it the fight of the night anyway. I mean, we knew this was going to be the fight of the night going into it, considering the talent involved, considering the match it was. And hey, I like the new look of the chamber too. I mean, you got the WWE logo on it, the WWE Network or whatever that logo is. You know, they had it on top of the structure there. I only have one small gripe, and that is we no longer have that steel grid. They padded it. They put padding on where the steel grids were. That's the only gripe I have. But other than that, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it whatsoever. I mean, I agree with everything MF said. I could have looked for spoiler photos earlier, but I wanted to be surprised. And when I saw it, I'm like, wow, not bad at all. A little bit of they put a little bit of a square feel into it, but yeah. But anyways, like I said, initially I was going to give it between 4.25 to 4.5, but after MF, after the argument that MF made, I got to agree with him. This is a 5-star classic. Great match, great winner. Was not surprised, but still love the results. Strong main event, and the crowd was receptive to Bray Wyatt winning the WWE Championship. I mean, didn't I call this? Didn't I tell you folks this? I mean, I pretty much broke the dirt on this thing 2 weeks ago when we did our Royal Rumble recap. Remember that? Didn't I say? And MF, I had you put me on the record on that. Remember that? And the dirt sheet was right, and so was I. Bray Wyatt, the new WWE champion. Wyatt and Orton for the title at WrestleMania. It's got potential to be something really good. Now the question is, can they deliver? Not only can they deliver on the grand stage, but will the build be there? I hope they build this. I mean, because when they were going into that feud back in the fall, I was not very receptive towards that. I was very critical of how they were booking that build. But now that we have this event playing out, I got a good feeling about this feud, and I think the build is going to be amazing. We got 7 weeks to build this sucker. I think the build's going to be there. I hope they don't mess this up like they did back in the fall. Don't do that. I want to see a better build, and I have faith. And considering that this is SmackDown Live, I got faith they can pull it off. And can you imagine what that's going to? When you talk about Naomi's entrance at WrestleMania, can you imagine Bray Wyatt making his way down the ramp with the lantern in hand, the belt around his waist, and all the 75,000 plus fireflies in the Citrus Bowl in Orlando? Can you picture that sight? I can. And my Lord, is that going to be a sight to see as well? Oh man, I'm getting jacked up about this already. 7 weeks cannot get here fast enough. Simple as that. So initially 4.25 to 4.5, but after MF's argument, I can't go against it. 5-star classic, and I can honestly go on the record and say maybe perhaps the greatest Elimination Chamber match I've ever seen. And I'm not at all surprised. The outcome was never in doubt, but so was the body of work of the fight. 34 plus minutes. Well done to all 6 men. I did not have AJ Styles in the final 2 with Bray Wyatt. I had it down to Wyatt and Cena. But hey, I'll take Wyatt and Styles any day. So that's all I can say about that. So congratulations, Bray Wyatt. Brother, you deserve it. You want to talk about Naomi deserving it? Here's another one who deserves it. Come on. 3 years ago, they fed him to Cena at WrestleMania 30. His momentum gone like that. Nearly 3 years later, he's got the momentum back, and he's got the whole world in his hands. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. So that's all I can say on that. So they may be called the Wyatts in the WWE, but MF and I have had a little role-playing fun. Michael Fletcher as Randy Orton, me as Bray Wyatt, and we try to put that Broken Hardy twist on it. So Bray Wyatt has the whole world in his hands. He's got the gold, just like the 7 deities told me. Yes, that's all I can say about that. So, Brother MF, I knew this feud would come. 5-star classic. What else is there to say? Twisted Angel, First Lady of the Wrestling Throne, Dee Dee Whitson. What did the 7 deities tell you about this match tonight? Yes.
Oh, brother. Why can I imagine you two doing that? I don't know. I will definitely agree with the rating, and definitely 5 stars. It was definitely one of the better chamber matches. I have to admit, at first I wasn't sure about the new look of the chamber, but as the match went on, I really started liking the new chamber really well, and liked, of course, all the new elements they've added to it. I pretty much was telling Kevin that I could see Ambrose, or I could see Styles, or or them climbing the sides of that cage, and of course they did. And even Cena climbed up to the top of one of the chambers, and I mean it was just an awesome match to watch. I would say, for the short stance that Ambrose had in there, he did turn it into his asylum for a brief while. But at the same time, you'd have to say that the rest of them did as well. Especially Wyatt, as he was the one in the end that that captured the gold and everything. So, no, not much more I have to say about it other than congratulations to Bray Wyatt, and look forward to seeing now the Wyatt family feud, I guess you could say, that's coming up at WrestleMania. So, should I pass it to Fletch or should I pass it to Bullock since Bullock's here?
Well, first off, let me set this up. Michael Bullock, welcome to the show. And you actually came just in time. Bullock, what
Yeah,
we're
sorry
gonna
about that, fellas.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset. We'll talk about the matches, and we'll just go. And you just gotta go rapid fire. So okay. So first off, we had was Becky Lynch versus Mickey James. Becky Lynch won the match. So give me your thoughts about that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a fine match for what it was. So I'm gonna say, um, sorry about that. I'm actually gonna give it about. I'm gonna say one to one. I mean, 1.5 to 2 stars. I mean, what did you guys rate it?
We gave it about two and a half, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking that 2.5.
All right.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I'm just gonna give you the ratings on the matches. So I'm just gonna go real quick.
All right. Kalisto and Apollo Crews versus Dolph Ziggler. Kalisto and Apollo Crews won it. What says you?
Uh, yeah. I'm gonna say. I mean, about 1 to 1.5 is my thoughts on the. I'm mostly gonna say 1 star on the match.
Okay. The tag team turmoil. The winners were the American Alphas, still champions. What says about that?
All right. Oops. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just pulling up the results here. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a good tag team turmoil match. I'm gonna give it about 3 to maybe 3.25 for my I mean for the match. So I thought it was a good tag team turmoil match.
All right. Next up, we had was Nikki Bella versus Natalia. The fight ended in a double count out.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match for what it was. I mean, I just didn't like the double count out, so I'm gonna give it about 2 stars.
All right. Very well. Next up, we had was Luke Harper versus Randy Orton. Orton wins.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good match. I mean, between the two, I'm gonna give it about I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars as my rating on the match.
All right. Naomi versus Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The winner and the new SmackDown Women's Champion, Naomi.
Man, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it about another 3 to 3.25. I mean, man, I mean, I never would have thought that because when we did our preview, I had Alexa Bliss winning, but all I can say is congratulations to Naomi. Her first title days, she definitely deserves it.
And finally, the Elimination Chamber for the WWE Championship. The winner and new champion, Bray Wyatt. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is the fight of the night without a shadow of a doubt. I'm gonna give it about 4.5 in the chamber. I thought it looks really good with the new look chamber. I mean, the only thing I didn't like is that they they added like what was it, the
The
padding, like
padding on the steel. Yeah.
yeah, that's the only thing I didn't like about it. But other than that, I thought it looked really good. So, but but yeah, I mean, at the end, of course, we saw Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt with the stare down. So, man, this is definitely going to be the true definition of a family feud. So, Fletch, all right, now I'm going to get you to my thoughts on the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Yeah, go ahead. If you want to start, go ahead. You can begin.
All right, I'm gonna give it about eight to 8.5 out of 10 is my for my overall thoughts on the Elimination Chamber. I thought it was a really good one. I thought everything. I mean, I liked about it. I mean, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. All I can say is, of course, now it's on to the last stop on the road to WrestleMania, which is Fastlane, which is of course a Raw exclusive pay per view. So nothing else for me to say. So all right, who am I gonna pass it off to now?
Well, this is open forum, so whoever
Oh, all
wants
right,
to take it next can take it.
I'll jump in next. I'm right there with Bullock's rating. I'm gonna give it about 8 to 8.5 out of 10 as well. I mean, overall, the first half of the show was a little flat, but things picked up with Orton versus Harper, and the Chamber more than delivered. And I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, oh man, I mean, um, first half, like I said, the first half of the show was rather lackluster and lifeless, as almost nothing got out of first gear. Randy Orton versus Luke Harper and Naomi versus Alexa Bliss turned things around, but the Elimination Chamber was more than worth your time. So that's pretty much all I can say there. As far as what I would recommend, obviously the Chamber. You'd be an idiot if you missed that. Well, let me rephrase that. You'd be a stupid idiot muttonhead if you missed that. So Chamber first and foremost. Also strongly recommend Randy Orton and Luke Harper. That was an incredible match as well. I'll give you tag team turmoil as well. I'll give you Bliss and Naomi. I'll give you Natalya and Nikki Bella. Those are the ones I can definitely recommend in good conscience. A little iffy about Mickie James and Becky Lynch, but the one thing from this show that I strongly recommend that you skip, the handicap match. That's not worth your time. That was a waste of time. So, but other than that, SmackDown Live delivers again. What else is there to say? So, all right, Raw, A show. 3 weeks from now, Milwaukee, the Bradley Center, Fastlane. I hope you guys were taking notes tonight because we got to top this. I know it's not going to happen. I mean, the seven deities are telling me I'm having a premonition right now that that this event's probably going to be the better of the two, but you never know. They could surprise. Keyword could, but I don't know. But hopefully in 3 weeks, we'll be hopefully raving about Fastlane being a better show than Elimination Chamber. Highly unlikely, I know, but hey, I'm not losing faith. So that's all I can say. Congratulations again to SmackDown Live for delivering. And of course, the two people who deserve it the most tonight, the two biggest winners of the night, Bray Wyatt and Naomi, the two most deserving champions I can remember in a very long time. That's it. So, Dee Dee Woodson, let's get your overall thoughts.
I'll give it a solid 8.5 stars. It definitely was an awesome pay-per-view tonight. Definitely met more expectations than would have thought it would have. As for the comment on the A show, right now Raw certainly isn't pulling A quality shows. I would definitely say SmackDown is becoming the new A show, uh, the new top of the charts for WWE. They're pulling in a better product, and they definitely proved it tonight with this pay-per-view. And you know, congratulations to all the winners. And especially the two new champions. Can't wait to see what we're going to get out of them, or what we're going to expect the next show here Tuesday. But it's certainly going to be interesting to see, how they're going to lead this off from this all the way up to WrestleMania with what little bit of time they have. So, not much more I had to say about it. So, Fletch, it's yours.
And with that said, guys, we're gonna sign off for the night. Um, I guess we're just gonna have to say it. It's just a great night for SmackDown Blue. Crowning of a new WWE champion, a crowning of a new women's champion on the SmackDown side. It was an interesting night to say the very least. So, of course, tomorrow or later this evening is Ridiculously Raw with the gentleman Anthony Florio, Dee Woodson, Mike Bullock. I'll also be back as well. And then Tuesday night, Cerebral Smack Talk right here on Brace Fan 95. Until then, for all of us, have a great night, everybody. Thank you for watching. So long for now.